Greetings, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of the Breath of Fresh Air. I am Charles Taylor. I have PJ Brackett with me. Say what's up, Patrick.
What's up, everybody?
And we have a special guest with us, my man Stan Franklin. Say what's up, Stan.
What's going on, world? I'm here.
That's
In the
what's
flesh.
up. That's what's up. Man, I'm so excited, man. Our first special guest. That's what's up. Well, in this episode, we are discussing all matters NBA as the All-Star break is approaching us. So, I guess let's start off with the Western Conference. And I think all of us agree pretty much it is pretty much about the Golden State Warriors, San Antonio Spurs, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. If y'all disagree, go ahead and voice those disagreements. But it looks like those three teams will be the ones battling out for Western Conference supremacy. So I will just ask y'all, Stan and Patrick, I'll just ask y'all this question. Is there a team that can wreck that party but between the top three that I just mentioned? Do you guys see anybody else coming in here potentially wrecking this party?
We'll let you go first, Stan. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Since I'm doing the thing, I'm gonna be a little rebel here since I get to go first on this one.
You
I'm
want me
gonna
to
have
go
to
first?
correct you, Charles, on yours. I honestly don't think there's three teams. I think it's just the one, the Warriors. I'm go ahead and go out there and say it. I don't see them being touched.
That's what's up. So that don't see them being touched. Not a chance, huh?
I'm not feeling it, man. They got it. Whatever they got going, they got it going right now.
Mm. All right. Well, what you think, Patrick?
Well, as we all know, the Golden State Warriors are the defending champions. But it's like this, man. I picked the Thunder. I picked the Thunder. I'm still happy with that pick. But the thing is that when you go into that next season, dog, 7 game series are hard to beat. And Golden State is probably going to run up against San Antonio or the Thunder. Now, as it stands right now, like I said, I got the Thunder, but Golden State, man, they're a fantastic team. They got a lot of experience in the playoffs, and they pretty much dominated whoever they played last year. But you can't count out San Antonio. I mean, they're flying under the radar. They're 28-0 at home. I mean, let's be honest. And I know the Golden State Warriors lost 4 games, but they lost all 4 of those on the road. So I look at the Spurs. They lost all 8 of theirs on the road. So I guess in that particular series, if we're looking at San Antonio and Golden State, um, as we can see, it's probably going to be a wash all the way up to Game 7. So this is going to be a 7 game series. Who's going to win? I don't know. So as good as Golden State is, I think they can be touched. I think they can be touched, and it's going to be by one of those 2 teams. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't see anybody else. Who else they got? The Clippers, the Suns. All those teams suck. Every one of them suck.
Yeah, I can't.
It's going to be
Can't
between
believe.
those 3.
I can't believe you even threw the Suns in the conversation. Come
I
on,
threw them in there. Hell yeah, I threw them in there. And
man.
So answer me this. I got a question. I'm gonna put this back out to y'all. So you mean to tell me that in a 7 game series, these teams and I heard the other day, so I thought it was the best quote ever, is they're not sitting here saying it's like, how do we beat them in 7 games? The Golden State Warriors, as well as they play, they can turn it on and fire and drown people out there from anywhere on the court. So even if these teams they are doing well in their respective leagues and going, but in a 7 game series against them, I just don't see them pulling it out, man. I see too many great things.
Here's what I think, Stan, and you might be right. You might. I mean, that Golden State is rolling, but what could be the difference is particularly when they play San Antonio, because I mean I picked the Spurs to go in the Western Conference Finals or
Of course you did.
to represent the West. The thing is, San Antonio has some bigs, and where it's going to show up which team can get the best out of each other is if the Spurs decide to stay big, they can go to LaMarcus Aldridge and Tim Duncan and beat them up inside. What that does also is slow down the pace of the game to where Golden State can't get out on the court as much as they would want. So if Golden State does go small, when they go to the Curry, Thompson, Iguodala, Green, and Barnes lineup, maybe throwing Sean Livingston in there to mix it up as well. When they do go small, you're going to have Draymond Green trying to guard Tim Duncan or LaMarcus Aldridge. Now, I would take that any day of the week on that matchup. But but that's the thing. As a matter of fact, I'll go to this, Stan. You remember when Miami would go small ball and they would play LeBron at the 4? You remember that?
Yep. Yep.
All right. So the teams that gave them the most problems was the teams who could throw it inside and beat them up inside a little bit.
Memphis,
Indiana, San Antonio. Huh?
I understand where you're going from there, Charles. But I was listening to somebody talk about it today. You got to give me this. The game has changed in the sense that these teams that got the right people in the right places, like Golden State, can go small and be very, very effective against somebody who wants to go against a big man. Because look at it now. Big men these days are not the same as they used to be.
That's true.
They're not, banging in and getting in there. And you got Tim Duncan, which, I mean, he's a phenomenal player, a future Hall of Famer. But, when it comes to these younger guys, and I'm going to give you one. I'm talking about Green.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal defender. So when you get him in there, Tim Duncan's an all-star, but at the same time, this man is leading the league in defensive plays.
But you also got to look at this point as well. Steph Curry's going to have Kawhi Leonard on him. And this is a very disciplined defensive player. So, I mean, this is even a hypothetical matchup right now, but you still have to take and consider that Leonard is going to be the one that's guarding Curry. And from what I've seen, Leonard doesn't foul much this year. He is not a fouler, and he is very disciplined. So, you look at all this stuff. Granted, Stan, I give you that's a good point, because when Golden State does go small, they're very effective, and not many teams have been this effective at this level,
right?
Going small, and that's a good point. But San Antonio, still, you have to count in years of experience with Tony Parker, Duncan, Ginobili. These guys have been in playoff game after playoff game after playoff game. And Steph Curry, even though this guy's shooting 99% from the three-point line, sometime everybody's going to run into it. Everybody's going to start going to this. They run into this situation where they just don't make as many shots as they do. Curry hasn't ran into that yet. He is still shooting phenomenal. And
absolutely, I agree with you there. Shooters they hit those balls, and it depends on timing there. But I've seen it, and Steph Curry is something like most of us haven't seen. And
definitely.
Hey, look, man, there isn't too many people who can walk outside of the bus and be ready to shoot. I get it.
Not many people walk off that bus with his beats on and says, "Throw me the ball. I got to shoot the first throw." Oh no, Russell Westbrook.
That's Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook.
That's Russell Westbrook.
That ball, dog.
Look,
Russell, what do you need the ball for? We got to score, dog. We're 3 hours away from game time.
And speaking of Russell Westbrook, let's talk about OKC for a minute.
Yeah,
now, I think OKC, look, they have as good of a chance as everybody. They're kind of been under the radar because people have been talking about Golden State and San Antonio just for the simple fact they have these ridiculous records.
Mm-hmm.
But OKC is slowly bubbling up in there too. When you have Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook on the team, you're talking about two of the best 5 players in the NBA on the same team. The problem with OKC that may show up if they do play Golden State or San Antonio is, one, they have to get better defensively. One thing about Golden State and San Antonio is they are good teams defensively. OKC's still kind of trying to get to that point. They're getting there, but not quite there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, when they played Golden State on Saturday night, they battled back. They got back into the game. They tied the game.
Mm-hmm.
Toward the end, they tried to kind of play that individual ball, the hero ball. That's
Bam.
easy to do
Bam.
when you have Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. But if you're going to beat those defenses, gotta move the ball. Gotta move the ball a little bit, man.
Well,
Yeah,
and
hero
Kobe's
ball ain't
gonna
gonna
have
work with
that
it.
problem.
So if they develop it, a little bit better team ball, which I think they can get there with Billy Donovan as the coach. It's gonna be interesting if that happens. I see the smile, Stan. I
Charles,
see.
let me, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I am not a fan of Oklahoma City, but I'm gonna tell you like how it really is. You got to look at this team since it's been there, had Westbrook and Durant, has not figured out total team ball, and that's their curse. That's their problem. When it gets to the big time, who's the hero? Who is the hero when it gets to the big game?
Of course.
Oh, well, you ask some. Hey, you ask somebody else, they might disagree with you. So
everybody asks that will disagree with me.
That's the problem. I think that is the problem because I think your boy Westbrook is not seeing himself as number 2 or whatever on that squad, and I think it runs into issues when it comes to clutch time. You know, they during the season they get that one, they'll switch off, but when it comes down to the wire, it cripples them. It does.
That's actually a very interesting point because it has happened to them.
You can't play that hero ball if you're gonna beat those teams. Like, and it is those two teams. They could beat anybody else if they do that hero ball. Golden State and San Antonio, that's not gonna happen because those defenses, like what you were talking about the discipline, Patrick. That's what you have. Those two teams, pretty disciplined, good team defense. Gonna run up against doubles. If they try to force a shot, that could be a basket the other way quickly, especially if they play Golden State. Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
As quickly when they play San Antonio. You gotta get everybody their walkers and get them down the court. Ask everybody, time out.
San Antonio will
going. Come on, guys.
San Antonio will backdoor you to death. You know it, man. They will be in their walkers and in their canes, whatever, and they will still put up 100 points on you so quickly.
Tim Duncan, man, he'll surprise you. He'll come out there in a wheelchair, man. You'll be like, oh, man, Tim Duncan, man, he's like 99 years old. And this dude will jump up and be like, where did that come from?
Still put up a 20 and 10.
That's because he conserves his energy. You see his facial expression. He don't waste any energy. That's a man with purpose.
Well, hey, y'all, look, it'll be very interesting to see how all that works out because, I mean, those three teams, I think it's gonna be between those three. I don't see really anybody coming in there wrecking that party in the West. But let's move on, y'all, to some of these more garbage teams. And let's start with the Houston Rockets. Huh?
So we're going to the Eastern Conference?
Not yet.
Oh, well, you said garbage.
Not yet, Patrick.
There we go.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. We're gonna hold that. Yeah, we're gonna let that simmer a little bit. But yeah, let's talk about some of these other teams that have major issues. And we want to talk about the Houston Rockets because it has been reported they are trying to shop or calling about shopping Dwight Howard around. Okay. Houston's obviously they're a mess. They are a mess. It doesn't look like they're playing any type of team basketball. You have James Harden just dribbling the ball and shooting 3-pointers on 8 people. And it looks really bad. Huh?
His own team has been blocking him.
I mean, it's a mess.
You got Dwight Howard manning up on James Harden, and you're like, whoa. He's trying to get down on the. You know what? Houston has had problems ever since they signed Howard. He's been a problem ever since. He's a problem. He's cancerous, dude. He's cancerous to any team.
Anywhere he goes.
Him, his 7 wives, and his 9 kids.
Anywhere he goes, he is cancerous.
Mm-hmm. He's just like Andrew Biden, though. I wouldn't mind hanging out with Andrew Biden.
Biden. Wow. Where's he at now, man?
He's chilling with somewhere trying to get signed.
Fade
Yeah,
flat. He faded the
probably
black.
probably at the
They're like,
Playboy Mansion.
Andrew, we're not gonna sign you, dude. You shoot 3-pointers. I know. That's what I do. No, you don't.
He's at the Playboy Mansion somewhere, kicking it with Hugh Hefner, I'm sure.
Right.
But
Trying to get signed on to Chicago.
yeah, well, look, man, Dwight Howard. Here's the thing. I'll just ask y'all this with Dwight Howard. So if a team, well, first of all, here's the thing. If they do try to trade him, one, there is no guarantee he will re-sign with them because the contract he is under right now, it's a 4-year contract with an option for that 4th year, and on average, it's about $21-22 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. Nobody wants to take that contract on. I seriously doubt anybody would want to take that contract on unless it was a team that said to themselves, hey, man, we're trying to win it now. We'll take our chances. That's one thing. Number two, if there's, do you guys see a team that would,
No,
entertain him? I mean, he's a talented player.
no, he's not.
So I'm sure he is talented, Patrick. You don't think he's talented?
He's cancerous.
That's a different question. Is he talented?
He's cancerous.
Yeah, we know he's cancerous, but he's a cancerous talent. He does have talent.
Okay, I'll go with that. He's cancerous talent. Okay, so you don't.
Yeah, look, hey, damaged goods. Can we say that? Damaged goods.
Yeah, we say that for hookers too. So okay, cool. I
So,
can handle that.
yeah, that's right down your alley, Patrick. Of course, there you go. So I mean, but nah, I mean, but is there a team that any of y'all see maybe perhaps talking about acquiring Dwight Howard?
Clippers. I would say the Clippers because it's simple as this. Look at what Blake Griffin's doing. He's punching people in the damn locker rooms. It's no different than what Dwight Howard did.
It's at a club.
But if he's going to continue to do that, they're going to need somebody big and down on the post. And who better to want to win it now than the Clippers?
So you're gonna put him with DeAndre Jordan? Ugh.
Honestly, I wouldn't put him with anybody. But if I was going to say who's going to win, who wants to win now, it's the Clippers.
Yeah, the Clippers are another team that probably need to go ahead and break that up too. But anybody else besides the Clippers? Maybe one of the Eastern Conference teams?
Ooh,
Uh,
anybody going anywhere? I mean, I just don't know, man. He brings just so much to be,
Bad at it, right?
Yeah, like, where do you want to run the risk, really? Maybe if you had a big man that was kind of hurting and struggling just a little bit, and you just need a little edge or pick me up. But I wouldn't want to do it. If I was GM, I wouldn't want to touch him.
Yeah, man. And the contract.
Yeah, we're not even talking about the money part of it yet. I'm just talking about him personally, and then you're talking about the money. Who wants to fork that over? Who's got that to put in there?
He's fixing to start shopping around anyway.
Oh yeah. He will.
Well, yeah. So look, man. Houston's a mess. It'll be interesting to see if they decide to keep Dwight Howard. I mean, yeah, Houston got themselves in a pretty big mess because I don't even know if, like y'all said, man. I mean, is he even worth keeping at this point? I mean, do you even want to re-sign him? Is he to the point where you're just like, you know what? If we let him walk, oh well. I mean, is it to that point yet?
Yes.
He said, yeah.
Let him go hang out with Dwight Howard. Or what's his name? Andrew Bynum. Yeah, go hang out with Bob.
Yeah.
He's worthless now, man. I mean, yeah, dude, it's like this. Being in Houston, he's had so many opportunities to get the right training. I mean, he's right there with Akeem Olajuwon, dude. And yet he's still not taking it seriously. Why do you want that? Why do you want that in your organization? So, I mean, to me, don't get me wrong. There's going to be a team picking him up. There'll be a team picking him up. I just doubt they're going to do it for the $21 million nowadays. He's kind of past his prime.
Yeah, he's had injuries. He's constantly injured, and just talk about the basketball standpoint. I mean, you wonder if the maturity is coming, man. He still does dumb fouls. I mean, he got thrown out of 2 straight games. This was
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks ago. He got thrown out. They played OKC. He got thrown out because he picked up 2 technicals. The next day they played the Washington Wizards. He got thrown out of that game for 2 technicals, messing around with Nene. Can't have anybody on there who's just gonna mess up the chemistry and is not gonna be on the court. And so just terrible, terrible, terrible situation in Houston. Let's go to one more terrible situation before we jump on the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about the Phoenix Suns, man. So they they played Golden State yesterday, and you had players, Markieff Morris, shoving dudes. It's the same dude who threw a towel at the head coach, or Jeff Hornacek before he got fired. What happened to Phoenix? They had a lot of young talent there with Goran Dragic and even the Morris twins when they were doing their thing, and Eric Bledsoe, and he's gone for the year now with his injury. It's what has happened in Phoenix? What's happened? Any explanation?
It's
It's too
cold.
hot in Phoenix.
We can stand on 2 different pages, dog. Too cold. It's too cold, man.
It's too hot. That just goes to show that you can't even tell you what the problem is because
Right there.
it's just insane out there.
Look, look. Phoenix has, dude. They're on a 9-game losing streak. 9. The only team that can tank worse than that is the 76ers, dude. I mean, 9-game losing streak. Hell, I don't even think Philadelphia's on it. Dude, Philadelphia's on a 2-game losing streak. That's telling you how bad it is in Phoenix.
Yeah, but Philly lost 17 in a row. Phoenix hasn't had that bad of a losing streak. Philly lost like their first 17 games.
They're well on their way. Phoenix, dude, there's no help in Phoenix. Phoenix is going to have to do a complete remodel. I mean, everybody. Get rid of GMs, get rid of players, get rid of Gatorade packs, get rid of all of it, and start doing new. I mean, Phoenix has so many problems. The problems have problems.
Mm.
That's
True.
how bad it is.
True. I tell you what Phoenix needs to do, much like you said, is kind of gut and read, but they need to take a page out of the Blazers book, man. The Blazers sat on some young guys for a while and look at them. You know, they're on the verge of doing some big things for their organization. They just got to start from some zero. They have to, because when you got people just sitting there flat out fighting on the sidelines, I mean, you know that nothing's good going on off camera, not even close to. So if it's carrying over to the court, the sidelines, it's a done deal.
Yeah. Well, and you also Portland, like you said, Portland is really a young team, man. Uh, they are on the verge of doing something big, but they need some experience on that bench, man. They need some experience somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, who is their most experienced player?
Well, you have
Chris Commons?
the good thing is you have an experience, or not an experienced guy, but you have a building block with Damian Lillard. So you were able to lock him up long term, and you can build around him. And like Stan said about the bigs, not really a big man league anymore. It's a pretty point guard oriented league now. And so if you got a guy like a Damian Lillard you can build around, then that's pretty much the way to go in terms of getting a team that can start to contend for a title. Yes, they do have a lot of young talent, but when you have a guy, and we'll talk about people to build teams around in a minute when we get on y'all favorite homeboy here in a little bit. But
God.
but Damian Lillard is a good dude to build around, man. I mean, the dude is about as polished as you can. He went to college all 4 years, and you know that's a rarity. So he already kind of had some maturity coming in, and so he's a guy who does not run from the big shot. He's a guy who can distribute the ball. He can score. He's unselfish. That's the type of dude you want to build around. So I think Portland will be all right. So, but going back to Phoenix real quick, yeah, I agree with Stan. You're just gonna have to clean house. Well, you said it too, Patrick. You're gonna have to just clean house. Clean house, build, start over, and get some good draft picks, and actually keep the draft picks. Unlike what Philly does, get draft picks and then trade them for more draft choices, and then trade them for more draft choices. So,
Yeah.
so
draft choices.
well, all right. Well, shoot, since we're on agreement with Phoenix, let's get on the Eastern Conference. So, we got y'all boys, the Cleveland Cavs. Do you guys see anybody beating them in the conference, keeping them from getting to the NBA Finals? Look, have at it. I don't know who's gonna go first, but let's see.
I'll go first this time, Stan. Stan, I'll go first this time.
Go ahead.
No, I don't. With these 4 weeks that Jimmy Butler is injured in Chicago, that Chicago's out. Toronto. Well, what can I say about Toronto? That it's Toronto. They suck. They're good. They suck. They're good. They suck. They're good. So they're too inconsistent. My dark horse out of this league was the Boston Celtics, which actually surprised the crap out of me that they're even in like 3rd or 4th place or whatever they're in right now. That surprised the crap out of me. But they're too young and too inexperienced. The Hawks are already trying to talk about getting rid of Jeff Teague, Al Horford, and Kyle Korver. The Heat constantly resting D Wade and Chris Bosh, so nothing there.
They've been relatively healthy this year, though. I'll give them that. I mean, compared to other years, they've been pretty good, Patrick. They have.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Miami Heat's in like 5th place. I mean, they're doing what Miami Heat does. But I mean, I don't see them beating Cleveland. You got the Pacers. No. Chicago lost Jimmy Butler, so no. Charlotte Hornets. Well, no. So no, there's nobody that's gonna beat them.
Patrick, did you bring up the pick that you had this year, Atlanta? Did you bring them up?
Yeah, I said that they're trying to trade all their picks or all their team.
Well,
they're trying to trade Jeff Teague. They're trying to trade Al Horford. They're trying to trade Kyle Korver. So Atlanta's no. That's my team, man. But they're no.
All right.
No, nobody. Right. Cleveland.
Okay.
Finals.
I'm trying to be extremely unbiased on this one, because I am a Miami fan. But I'm telling you who's going to be Cleveland, right? It's Cleveland. Cleveland is going to beat themselves because, and we'll get to him a second, but LeBron James and his leadership, they'll beat themselves. That's what I'm saying. Because it's going to get down to the wire. And regardless how this thing shakes out, they will allow a team that shouldn't beat them to beat them because of their mistakes.
Unless Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving go through the entire playoffs injured.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with Cleveland also. So they fired David Blatt. They have Tyronn Lue as the coach now, and Lue wants them to go faster. Wants to push the tempo. I don't know if that's going to work out because I don't know if Cleveland has the depth to really do that. If you're gonna push the ball like that, look, they call this the Golden State effect. I call this the Golden State effect because when Golden State, going back to your point, Stan, about the small ball, Golden State went small and it worked very well for them. How many teams now in the NBA are trying to go small and try to run this fast tempo and it's not working for them? Washington Wizards, that's one. The New Orleans Pelicans, that's another one. Not working out for them. Now Cleveland's trying to do it. First of all, you have to have the personnel to do that. Golden State, on top of running the small ball lineup, they can go 11 deep in their lineup. They can go super deep in their lineup. Cleveland doesn't really have that type of depth. So if you're gonna tell LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and who's the other guys who starts with them, J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson, if you're gonna have those guys run like that, they're gonna be out of breath. And you're gonna bring in who? Iman Shumpert, Matthew Dellavedova, maybe a Mo Williams. You're gonna bring in Timothy Mozgov for a little bit, but Mozgov ain't running like that. He's gonna play like 10 minutes. So I mean, so that's why this whole let's push the tempo up. To me, it's the same thing I said about San Antonio. If Cleveland's going to have a chance to beat a Golden State or even a San Antonio or even an Oklahoma City, if they're able to make it to the finals, you have to slow that pace down because you're not going to beat them in a fast-paced game. Not those teams. You're not going to do it. That's playing right into their hands. So we'll see how that works. I just don't know if there's a team in the Eastern Conference who can beat them. As a matter of fact, I don't see it. I mean, I picked Cleveland to go to the NBA Finals anyway. But speaking of the leadership factor, now Stan.
Yeah.
Stan. So
Yeah.
you brought up an interesting point to me when we were talking about the leadership quality with LeBron. You're down in Miami. You got to see 4 years of this. You had a front row seat. So I would like for you to bring up the point you brought it to me and just let it all out to the public. Go ahead, bring it up.
All right, world. This is my thoughts on the whole thing. LeBron James is not who you think he is. That's it. He is the hype around him of being the total package, if you will, is not it. He lacks in on-court leadership in a lot of ways. When you got the most valuable player in the league, in the world, stopping his defensive player to yell at a team member and miss an assignment, what does that say? That's basics. There's times to do that. He doesn't always pick the right time to do that. I watched him when he was here, when we ran into troubles into the playoffs, when his judgment calls or his feelings got all whatever, then he's gone. He checks out. He doesn't have that killer instinct when it comes to moments like that you would see in a Jordan or a Kobe. It just doesn't exist. People have been waiting on that for how long now?
Yeah, 12 years now, going on 12.
Yeah, it's not there, and people keep saying, yeah, he's a phenomenal athlete. He can play any position on the court. He is almost impossible to defend. But when it comes down to him taking his team to the next level, if he doesn't have the role players like he had at Miami, he can't get it done. He can't.
Stan, leadership. Errata leadership. Tell everybody now. You know, Patrick and I, we've seen this too. But tell the people, what did he have down in Miami?
Well, his real leadership came from. He had an organization around him. First of all, it started from the top. Pat Riley, who was a mastermind in running that organization. And then he had veterans like D. Wade, who was already a champion
before he got there. Yep.
But right before he got there, and he couldn't physically carry the team anymore. He just couldn't, but he was still there. And you have people that supported him, like Ray Allen was there. You had Miller that was there. You had all these guys that are around him that really took over when it could to corralling the rest of the team, and they knew what they needed to do. So it was for him, it was plug and play. You know, he didn't really have to instruct those guys because they were veterans in the field. You know, he just needed to show up for them time to time, and that was it. Those guys knew how to go out there and do what they needed to do, and there was no real coaching on his part by that because they were the right guys for the job. So he didn't even really learn that in that sense. You would have thought he would have picked it up from somebody, but apparently that's not the case.
One more question before before Patrick's chopping at the bit, boy. But before Patrick, but one more question, Stan. When it comes to that whole leadership thing, do you think that's why he left Miami because of the fact he really couldn't do what he would want to do? Is that why you think he went to Cleveland? Because personally, that's what I think. I think he went back up to Cleveland because in Miami he didn't have as much say so
Right.
like he would have in Cleveland. So do you think that's kind of the part of the reason why he left Miami?
I think that was part of it. I think that was part of it, but I also think he had a false sense of understanding what leadership was. I think he felt like he got down there, he got what he needed, and he learned the things that he needed, and he could go out on his own and make it happen. He had the idea that he had all the keys now to take a team and take them to the next level by himself. When he doesn't, it took all that around him to fall in perfectly, especially in this stage and age. Like these teams, actual teams, San Antonio, Golden State, when they come together and they play ball, there's no way a single individual with a couple of role players is going to beat them. You have to have a team this day and age. It's completely different. So I think he thought he had that, and he thought he could do that, and wanted to prove to people that he could by going back there. And yeah, you're right. He couldn't do all the things that he would want to do like he would at Cleveland. And I think that's ultimately why he left, why he's gone. So.
All right. Well, Patrick.
What you got?
In a leash.
Well, now the rant is going to start. First of all, Stan, I love every point that you made because LeBron James is a punk bitch. That's plain and simple. He doesn't have any keys to do anything. You're absolutely right about everything that you said across the board, except one thing. He didn't leave Miami because you were right about that, but you forgot one thing. Let me put it that way. He didn't only leave Miami because he had a false sense of leadership and that he could take a team to the next level. He always uses his opt-out opinion. He does it like I told Charles 2 episodes ago, he married his wife with the option to opt out. He does it. This guy is plain out, just straight up a punk bitch, dude. He is.
Right.
Now, I'm done with the rant. Now I'm going to start talking about the things that you said. One, he was never the leader in Miami. He was the face of the leader in Miami. D-Wade was still the leader.
Fair enough, yeah.
Because this is the way I saw it. Anytime that LeBron James, like you were saying earlier, anytime LeBron James had that breakdown in defense and he wanted to yell at somebody.
Mario Chalmers.
Yeah.
They yelling at Mario Chalmers for no damn reason. Now, I remember there was times when Mario Chalmers was on the bench and LeBron James.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you didn't pour my Gatorade right. What the hell was that? I tried to pass to you and you weren't even there. Bitch, you wasn't even on the court. So, LeBron James, everything you said was absolutely right. You just put it in a more professional way than I would. That's what you did. And I'm glad you're there because you're a voice of reason, and I'm just telling you he's a straight up punk. But yeah, also the thing that I also feel that when he went back to Cleveland, I honestly think that not only was it a false sense of leadership, but I feel he also wanted to try to please the media in Cleveland.
I can see that.
Me and Charles had plenty of conversations about LeBron James and going back to Cleveland. And if he's going to sit here and write these notes that Charles said that he writes, and he's like, I want to win a championship, and I'm here for Cleveland, and I'm going to do it for Cleveland, you need to sign a contract longer than 2 years with an option to opt out after the first.
Right.
So honestly, I don't even think in some senses, I don't even think he had a false sense of leadership. I just think he wanted an option to bail if he felt that the heat was getting too much. So he's like that, man. No, you made perfect good points, man. I like everything you said because honestly, none of it was good, and you know I like when people don't like LeBron James too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think to Stan's point about the what he was saying about the physical talent he does have those physical attributes of being able to play any position on the court, the speed, the size he has, he's 6'8", 250, 260, can run like the wind. He has all the physical talent in the world. Very good, he can score, he can rebound, he's a very good passer, and I think he's a good defender, probably a better help defender. I
Mm,
wouldn't say because a lot of people want to say LeBron James is a shutdown defender. He's not that. He's a
right,
good defender,
right.
probably a better help defender though.
Yeah,
You come off that weak side when somebody gets by one of the other defenders, he comes on with one of those chase down blocks or something like that. That's probably LeBron James' bread and butter on the defense.
right.
What Stan is talking about, that is a mental quality of the leadership. When you're there and you're yelling at people, and look, half of the times when he's yelling at the person, it's LeBron's fault. Like, look,
Absolutely.
I saw one play in particular that stuck out to me. They were playing Golden State. This was the Christmas Day game. And he had the ball. LeBron, dribble. You might as well call him James Harden on this. He was just dribbling the ball, dribbling the ball, dribbling the ball, and then he didn't get the shot off. What does he do? He yells at Tristan Thompson. You didn't get the screen. You come to get screen. You didn't call for a screen. You
Yeah,
dribbled the ball and
There's
you
the fall
threw
guy.
the timeout.
Tristan
So
Thompson is his fall guy now.
yeah,
yeah. This is
so
Mario Chalmers.
yeah,
Just a little taller and with talent.
Yeah.
so that's the
Mario Chalmers
thing.
ain't got no talent either. Dude sucks. The
Yeah.
only reason why he got a deal is because LeBron James needs somebody to yell at.
So, but I mean, hey man, he was there before LeBron got there. So I mean,
They renewed
he
his
had that
contract
deal.
for LeBron.
Well, I think
I'd be surprised that he
yeah,
didn't get. I'm surprised that he hasn't fired everybody on that Cleveland team.
that's probably coming. But
And
when he
look, man,
got when when that happens, when you're yelling at people on stuff, and there's many times when LeBron does not get back on defense either. Many times.
Oh,
If he gets a ball stolen from him, and if he gets a ball stolen from him, or if there's a foul that he thought should have been called, he's not going to get back on defense. And that happens a lot. So if you're going to lead, hey, you got to lead by example.
hmm
Just don't know if LeBron is the best guy for that. So I think that was a very valid point that Stan made. To your point, Patrick, about the contract. Yes, because I've said it many times. Sign a long-term deal. If you're gonna go ahead and say you're coming home from Cleveland, you're doing this, you're doing that, just sign a long-term deal. What that does, instead of just affecting what Cleveland is doing, well, all right. First of all, let's get to the businessman aspect. He's going to do what is best interest for him. And that's why he gives himself these outs for the contract. Things
Hey,
got too hard in Miami. When Miami got blown out by the Spurs,
Charles,
yep,
Charles, I think we lost Stan, dog.
did we?
Sorry, everybody, we got technical difficulties. I think Stan just opted out.
Oh,
what? I'm still
no,
here.
no, it stands here. You there, Stan?
Yeah, I'm here. You got me?
Okay, we lost your camera then.
Oh man, what's going on?
It's probably something on my end, man. I don't know. These technical difficulties, it happens on live TV.
Hey, dog, it's live. It's still gonna get posted, Stan. Don't worry about
All right.
So hey, we can still hear you, so it's all good. Hey, look, man, I put disclaimers all the time. Don't worry about it. I gotta put a disclaimer for Patrick all the time. It happens.
Yeah,
So,
if you watch any of the episodes, dog, he's got like 34 different disclaimers for me.
No, I know. Oh, I know. I've seen
copy and paste all the time. Yeah, copy and paste.
them. Yeah.
He's
But
got a whole Word document full of disclaimers for Patrick. That's what it's labeled.
well, nah. But just to finish up the point, man. LeBron is a businessman, and he's going to have those outs on the contract.
More
When he
so
went
than a
to
basketball man.
yeah, and I mean when he went to Miami and Miami got blown out by the Spurs in the NBA Finals. Look, it's just like what Pat Riley said. I remember the Pat Riley press conference when he said, "Look, these things are hard. This stuff does not happen overnight. You have to be willing to compete." I think just kind of indirectly, he was kind of calling out LeBron with that because he's like, if you're gonna run when things aren't going your way, I mean, what does that say? I, that's how I took it. I felt like that was kind of an
Yeah.
indirect shot at LeBron.
You know what
No,
I
absolutely.
So,
You want me to tell you what I think Pat Riley meant to say? You want me to tell you what I think Pat Riley meant to say?
yeah, we know what. You know what, Patrick? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, that LeBron James is a punk bitch. Get his ass out of Miami. Send him to Cleveland because I'm tired of looking at him. I don't blame him either. I'd be tired of looking at his punk ass too.
So I mean, that's
I can't wait for this to go viral.
So that's the whole thing. He's the businessman first, and the the whole thing with Cleveland, what that also does, it affects other free agents. So if you are a free agent and you say to yourself, "Hey, I might want to come to Cleveland to play with LeBron, have a chance to win a title." If I'm a free agent and I'm seeing LeBron is signing year contracts all the time, I'm not going to want to come there because I don't know if he's going to be there.
True.
So I might want to go somewhere else because LeBron might leave when things get tough. So I don't know. I mean, I just think it's yeah, that whole leadership thing, yeah, that's huge. And now what we have with the Cavs is David Blatt is gone. All right. Everybody was saying he wasn't getting along with David Blatt. Well, he's not there anymore. He's got his guy there, Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue, they didn't even mess around with the interim tag. They gave him a 3-year deal. So it is all this whole process, this whole year, it is now all on LeBron. We're gonna see how he leads. And if he can get this team the title, then look, I will come on here and hey, I'll give him props. You know, I don't have any problem giving people props. I mean, we just spent the webcast last night giving Denver all the props when we were so wrong about them. So I have no problem coming on here about LeBron. Huh?
I ain't giving LeBron shit.
Man, stop this, dog. That's ridiculous, man. Yeah, you sore loser. We calling you Cam Newton. Sore loser
I
status.
don't care. I'm a loser.
Yeah.
I'm just emotional. That's real emotion. That's what that is.
Real.
Real motion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hell yeah, I'm a sore loser. And hell, LeBron James. I ain't giving him shit.
Well, look, y'all. I guess that will do it for this webcast. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. As I said, everybody like the webpage. Get on YouTube, subscribe to it, tell the word, spread the word to your friends, tell them to check it out. We'll be on Twitter soon. I promise. We'll get on there. And is there anything I'm missing, Patrick, before we go?
Yeah, there's one thing, man. Thanks to our special guest Stan for coming on, man. Hope you come back on and do this with us again, man.
Yes, sir, man. I thank you guys for having me on. It's a pleasure. I've been itching to get on here with y'all, and I had a ball, man. Patrick is right, man. It's addictive.
I told you. Like I told Charles, man. I told him, I was like, look, dude, I'm about to do something stupid to get on YouTube, dog. I'm glad you did. I was about to get in a Speedo or something, dog.
Yeah, but look, on my end, make sure we get the technical difficulties fixed. So we apologize for that. But yes, Stan, definitely, man. Thanks a lot for getting on here, man. And yeah, we can't wait for you to get back on here with us again. So to everybody, have a good weekend. Enjoy the basketball action, and we will talk to y'all next week. Take care.